Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Meat Sangria podcast. Happy birthday to you. Finally, the podcast is of age. I can do what I want to do to it. Everyone knows the age of consent for a podcast is 1 year old. I can get my grubby little hands on my Meat Sangria. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. My name is Matt Lipari, episode 52. It has been a whole... What day is today? I guess it's not been a year. I don't know what day the other one was. Wednesday, July 23rd is what today is. First episode was roughly around this time. And good golly, did it feel like yesterday? Not really. It felt like a... I would say it felt like it was 7 months ago. Not a year. Not exactly. No, it felt like a year ago. Time just flies when you're having fun, guys. Time flies when you're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. When you're talking about NordVPN. Time just flies, dude. Time flies. And you know what can I say? I've had a great time. We'll talk more about the podcast later. Not that I have any updates, but you know we'll give it a happy birthday send off. We'll recap some amazing moments. What do we got until then, guys? I'm wearing a Mets shirt again. How many times have I filmed this after going to a Mets game this year? Like 5? It's crazy. I've been to more Mets games this year than I have in my entire life, I think. Or not. I mean, in a year in my entire life, I've been to like 5, which is it's a ridiculous amount. Truly, no one should be going. But I mean, my dad buys the tickets and he's like, "You want to go?" He just invites a bunch of people. I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" He pays for lunch. I get a couple beers. I get to watch the Mets win a couple games. They won most of the games I've been to. I think they lost 1. So I'm pretty good luck charm. So listen, I think there's one more game he has. He said he bought all of the day games, the day home games during the week, which is not a weekend, which was like 6 or something. Not that many actually, but also why would you have a game on a Wednesday in the middle of the day? It's just an odd time to have a game. I think they do it because they need to travel. It's when they have to travel somewhere else the next day. So like they can't play a game and then at night you fly to like San Francisco and then play again. That's not feasible for the players. But yeah, the game was good. The Mets won. There was a medical emergency in our row. I think some guy was like about to pass out. So they were calling like the people around him were calling like the staff to get someone to come over. And they eventually came, but we had to move seats for a second because we didn't want to block our aisle. And then two dudes just were coming to sit down and they sat in our seats. And people kept telling them, like, hey, there's a medical emergency. Like, you guys have to, like, get up, clear this way. And they were getting an attitude. They were like, yeah, we'll get up when it's time to get up. I promise you we won't be sitting here when it's time for them to get up. And we're like, everyone's just like, bro, can you just, like, not sit there? Sit in any other seat that's right next to it. Just not sit there. And they was like, getting a fight. We were fighting people. Like, they were screaming at each other. And this guy was it was just one guy and his, like, friend, who the friend looked kind of embarrassed. Or I don't know. My cousin thought it was a guy and his father, and I was like, they were too old to tell. You get so old, you're like, I don't know if you're 80 or 60. You just look so weathered in the wind, like an ancient rock formation. So I don't know who it was. But they were just like, and then they sat right behind us, and I was like, we were talking about them. We're like, these people, fucking bunch of dickheads, douchebags, assholes. And, they didn't hear because they're old, and they were like, what? But they were kind of being assholes, and everyone just hated them after that. That's what you get. You sit in your seats, 2 minutes, everyone hates you. Imagine that's your life. Imagine that's what you want to be to other people. You just sit down and you're just like, oh, fuck it. Everyone hates me now. Everyone hates me. I get to enjoy the game. They didn't even talk to each other the whole time. They just sat there. That's what I see old people and like old couples. This kind of scares me. Old couples just sit at a table and just don't talk to each other for like an hour and they eat their meal. They just sit and stare into the wind. And I think they enjoy it, some of them. I don't think they're like upset. Am I like too fucked up by TikTok where I just need constant stimulation? I feel like they're just like fine with it. They just longingly look at other people throughout the restaurant. That's for like the hour. That's like, that was great. They're like, that was amazing. I have a friend who's kind of like that. He just kind of like, he just like vibes and just like stares. I was like, that was great. I'm like, what? Bro, that feels awful. It's like a spear. That would be something you can do if you're on drugs, but you're not going to be dining with your wife at a fancy Italian restaurant on fucking Molly or whatever. I don't know, man. I've never done Molly. I know her as, what is Molly short for? Nothing? Damn it. That would have been a good joke if I could think of Mollifer. Maleficent? Dude, my sheets, I have some nice linen sheets. I'm not going to say the brand name because that would be giving them press, and we don't need to do that, guys. So I only give NordVPN and his associated companies press. My sheets have holes in them now. My bottom sheet, I've been using these sheets too hard, I guess. They have fucking holes in them. And I bought a new one. I have to put it on it's right over there. I have to put it on my bed. But it's just like upsetting me that in my mind, sheets last for way longer. I've had these for 2 years, and they're very soft. They're great. I have 2 sets of them, so I'm assuming this is the one I've had for 2 years. But that's like these giant, and I've been like touching the holes, and they're like ripping. Like the threads are so soft and thin. They're so delicate. So maybe I'm doing too much in my bed. Maybe I'm going too crazy. This is just a roundabout way for me to say how good I am at having sex. I'm kidding, guys. I'm joking. That's not true. I'm just going to, it's like when you go to an interview and they say, what's your biggest weakness? I just ripped so many sheets, guys. I just fucked so hard I ripped the sheets. I'm so bad. So clumsy. No, but they have these holes. It's right where I sleep. It's not like, I mean, I guess if I'm having sex, it's going to be where it's not like I'm having sex in one corner of the bed. That's the sex corner. This is the sleep corner. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. So I have to put this thing on, but I don't really want to throw them out, but I have to. They're completely unusable. Completely just ripped. And I feel bad. I guess they could be mended. They're like $50 sheets. I bought a replacement for $50. That's kind of annoying. After 2 years, though, like, think about that. People always say, like, this is a fascinating thing to think about. People are like, I want to be able to own something. Like, when you buy a phone or, like, your AirPods or something, they're like, we could sell it to you. I think people always complain. You can sell it to someone and they own it. Or you can give them a subscription and they rent it, basically, from you for the subscription price. And it's like, yeah, it's good to own something, but also it breaks and it is not usable after a certain point. So, I remember, I think what I'm thinking of is related to AirPods somehow. Like, AirPods have like a 2-year lifespan, apparently, even though mine are running on 5 years. It's because I tuck them in every night and tell him how cool they are. I say, you're such a good boy. And he goes, yes, I'm going to live for another day. But AirPods have like a 2-year lifespan, so they say. And whatever, they cost $100, $200, I don't know. So that's 24 months at $200, let's say, or let's say $8 a month or whatever. You know, if someone's charging you $10 a month, obviously that's more expensive, but it's not that crazy, right? If they're actually going to die after 2 years, and some of them might die earlier, if you're paying $8 a month and then they just, whatever, you know, I kind of get it. I get it's not like it's so ridiculous, because these things don't last it's like a car, leasing a car. It's not that bad of a financial decision. Because a car like plummets in value. So I don't. Some people are like, I have a friend who's like, they're all about buying. You have to buy, own this car. It's kind of really know if I agree with that necessarily. I don't really know if I agree, because cars don't really appreciate in value unless you get like a cool car that is like vintage or something. But that's not. You know, we're not buying a Subaru that's going up in value. So I don't know. I can't just end everything with I don't know. I do know, guys. So my sheets, yeah, like so I'm thinking I paid $25 a year basically. It's $50 for the bottom sheet. I rented that thing for $25 a year. $2 a month I paid for my sheets if you average it out. It doesn't feel like a great deal, guys. It was like 2.5 years, but whatever. It doesn't feel that great. If you're like, I can rent you, I'll let you rent these sheets for $2 a month. I'd be like, no, just buy them. But you think about it, like, you know, concerning. That's what I'll say. Concerning. How cheap things used to last. This is what old people love to say. Things used to last forever. You used to buy something that 10 years later you have to fucking... All right. I'm sorry. It's kind of true, though, but, you know, that was back before China made everything China. Dude, I saw a lady walking on the street earlier this week who had a permanent middle finger up. She was walking the street, just had this middle finger dangling by her side, and I took a picture of it. Maybe I'll remember to post that picture. I didn't get a good picture of it, but she didn't look particularly angry. She was just walking with his middle finger down. She was just like, fuck the world. She was like an old blonde lady. So, you know, not a Karen per se. I feel like Karens are fatter than this woman. Karens are not really skinny. That's something you ever notice, that Karens are not actually... Karens are like, not overweight, but they're like thick. Not with 2 C's, just like thick, regular thick, not hot thick. Not the thick that gets me excited. She was just way too skinny, and she's had a middle finger. I don't know if she knew it, but it was definitely out. It was just walking around, dangling by her side, just a middle finger. Like an ape walk, which is one middle finger. It was very casual, and I should have gone up to her and been like, man, what are you angry about? She could have been working cahoots with the guy that beat the shit out of the garbage cans that I talked about last week. It was the same street. It was the same block. That's just an angry block for everyone. A lot of people fighting out here in this city. A lot of people getting in trouble. Maybe let me check this Citizen app real quick, actually. Let me see. Maybe it's like reports of woman with middle finger up. They cleared the whole street. Whoa, hey. Let's see. We got anything? I haven't checked this app in a while. Person hit by a vehicle. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. We got police activity. That's boring. Carbon monoxide detected. Okay, that's not great. Person hit by vehicle. Yeah, okay, boring again. Smoke condition in the back. I want something exciting, guys. Let's get EMS activity. That's not that exciting. Fire on the 3rd floor. That's pretty, that's a pretty good floor. Odor of gas. Nothing's exciting happening. Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's go to a yellow one. Let's see. Police activity. Okay. Police presence. Come on, tell me what's happening, guys. Jesus. All right, I can't find anything. Is there any reds here? We got a red here. Let's see. Man slashed twice in brawl. Well, that's not good. That is not good at all. Okay. That's nowhere near me, though. Let's see what else is down here. 14-year-old boy injured in a shooting in NYCHA housing complex. Okay, that's not good either. I didn't actually want to see that. That was depressing. But yeah, there's no reports of middle finger lady or the garbage can guy. So I guess I'm safe for now. I don't feel unsafe when I walk out of my apartment. I think, for some reason, New York City is like a... Some people think of it, especially like Republicans in New York or live in Long Island, they think of New York City and they go, what the fuck, that place is so dangerous. Everyone there dies. You step on the subway, you die. That's the way they talk about it. They're talking about everyone on the subway just getting pushed in the tracks left and right. There's people getting pissed on, slashed, and you're like, no, this is perfectly fine. Bad things do happen, but it's perfectly fine, guys. Perfectly fine. I have my, 1 second, let me drink. I bought a Kindle recently. I have yet to use it, even though you guys know I'm a big reader. Here's my Kindle. It's green. You guys see it? It's pretty nice. It's cool. I didn't know that this is the thing. They just put ads on the home screen. Like, this by default is just an ad. It cycles through books. And it's like this cool... It's cool. The Kindle's cool because it's not a screen. It's like e-ink is what it's called. So it doesn't hurt your eyes, which... you could read on your phone, but that would like sear my retinas at night. I'd be just like, So I bought this Kindle. I bought it for my trip. I'm going to Africa in a month. And I was like, I don't really want to bring a book on the plane, but I do have a couple physical books that I'm still trying to read. So I'm not ready to use this yet. I just wanted to have it and like set it up. But I hope it's supposed to save you money. Books are expensive. There are a couple books I'm looking at that are more expensive on the ebook version than the physical copy. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Should I buy? Like, this whole point of this is I'd rather read a physical book, I think. Well, this is kind of cool to have. Like, it's so easy. I need to buy a case for it. It's also ships in such a shitty box. I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I see it over there. I don't really want to reach it. It's like the box has no protection. It's just so thin around this thing. Anyway, let me just practice my reading. The guy in there looks kind of like me. No, he doesn't. You can't see him. Anyway, it just says up to 80% off select top reads on Kindle. Limited time deal. Thanks, Kindle. I appreciate it. I also signed up for a library card. I haven't had a library card since I was like probably 12. And, I had one at my grandma's house, I think, a Long Island library card. But I signed up for one on the line in 2 seconds, and I was looking at some of the books I want to read, and some of them have a long-ass wait, bro. Like 10 weeks long in New York City to read a goddamn book. I'm like, guys, I don't have patience for that. I'd rather just pay $5 to own the copy on my Kindle than to wait 10 weeks. I think some of the classics you can read if you want easily, or not easily, but just like without a wait. And then some of these other ones, like, dude, that's a long-ass fucking time to wait for a goddamn book. You gotta be put on the wait list. You gotta put it on hold. I don't know. There's a whole system there. But I've taken up reading a lot, and so I enjoy it, guys. It's a nice way to end the night. Some girl matched with me on... I have it in my profile that I like to read. Or I put it as, like... There's, like, a thing, like, my simple pleasures, and I just have, like, reading every night, because it is my simple pleasure. And some girl matched with me, and she was like, really, Matt? You read every night? And I was like, bro, do you not believe me? It's not like I was, like... It's not like I said I read, like, the most insane... I read intense political theory every night. I'm just reading like, not crappy books, but the most easy-to-read books. It's like the most entertaining... It's like I'm watching TV for an hour. She called me out, and then I was like, okay, we can dumb it down for you if you want. I don't think she liked that. I don't think she enjoyed that because she didn't respond, so... I didn't mean to get into a fight. She was kind of attractive, so, I was like, hey, we can read... Hey, how about you come over and we read together right now in my bed, and then we can stop reading and... Sorry. I have holes in my sheets, but I can replace them if you need to. But yeah, so my Kindle's here to stay, and I don't even want to... There was another e-reader that I was thinking of getting, but I was like, no, I'll just stick with the OG. A Kobo, I think it's called. I don't want to give any press for any of these devices. This is not an ad, guys. I don't even know if it's good. I used to have a NELK, the Barnes & Noble version, which I don't even know if they make anymore. My mom had it. from way back when. And I like to use it. It's pretty good. I think she still has it. It might still work. It probably does still work. That was from like at least 10 or 15 years ago, though. And I remember liking it. So I'm like, all right, I can just get a new version. It was like $150, maybe. It was somewhere between 150 and $200. I'm not sure. And it feels so cheap and light. It's like plastic. This thing is it's like nothing. The technology there's kind of cool. Like, what is e-ink? What is e-ink? I don't know. I don't guess I went to school for computer science. I don't know what the fuck e-ink is. But it's kind of cool. Rest in peace, guys. There's a rest in peace segment. Anyone else die? Let's see. We'll just talk about this. No, someone else did die, but that's more of a funny topic, even though it's not funny at all, but we're going to make fun of him a little bit. Ozzy Osbourne, dead at 76, I want to say. I made that up. I don't know. Let's check. Oswald Osbourne. Oh, his name is John Michael Osbourne. What the fuck? Not even an Ozzy, dude. 76. I was right. Nice. Rest in peace to Ozzy. If you don't know, he is the singer of the Happy Birthday song we sang in the very beginning. He is the singer of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. He's a very well-known children's musician. And he made a lot of great nursery rhymes. Little Miss Tuffet sat on a bucket, and she filled it up with her juice. That's a classic. No, he sang Crazy Train. He sang some other... I can't even think of another song he's sang right now. Going off the rails on a crazy train. Some other song that... You'll hear the songs, you'll know it. I just forgot the name. He's an interesting character. I would say an iconic rock and roll star just because of his look. He's wearing like black sunglasses all the time and long hair, like kind of devil worshipy looking, but also not. His wife is also pretty famous. Sharon Osbourne, his daughter also. My name's Sharon Osbourne and I'm on The View. Wasn't he on The View or some shit? What a weird show. It's a bunch of ladies screaming at each other. They're not scared. They talk, but they get into arguments. An interesting show with Sharon Osbourne. That show's still on, I think? I don't know. When I think of someone named Osborn, I think of the Oscorp and Spider-Man. The Osborns. What was the guy's name? The Green Goblin's name? Am I spoiling it for anyone? Oh shit, his friend's dad, his friend Harry's dad is the Green Goblin. Oh dude, I'm so sorry I spoiled that for you. Damn, you gotta watch that movie. Yeah, so rest in peace to Ozzy. He had some controversy. I mean, a lot of controversy with him doing drugs and like fucking shit up. I'm sure that man has some diseases that we don't even want to know about. That man's wiener has been in questionable places, and probably wieners have been in him. I'm sure we're defiling this dead man. I'm sure some rock stars, you do so many drugs you don't even know what's going on. Some gay guy tries to take advantage of you. Probably has happened multiple times, and maybe some of them are bisexual too. It is what it is. It is a pretty bisexual. Like honestly, being a rock star from the 70s, you do look pretty bisexual. You are dressing up to the nines, and you are, somewhat questionable. Not questionable, being bisexual is great. I wish I was bisexual. I'd love to lie to my friends that I'm not attracted to them and then make a move on them, like men do to women all the time. Listen, guys, we've all been there before. I think every guy's had a situation where they've been attracted to one of their friends, and it's gone south, and then you go, fuck, I should not have done that. That was a rookie mistake. And I've done that before, and it sucked. It sucked because then you're not really friends with that person anymore, which, whatever. It is what it is. But it sucks because you're just like, oh, why did I do that? What am I, stupid? What am I, a moron? And yes, you are, but it's about learning from it. Some people do it multiple times. There's always a meme about guys being like, I have something to tell you. A guy hanging out with his friend that's a girl one-on-one. I have a secret to tell you. I like someone and you know them really well. You really, really have a good grasp on how they live their life. He's like, who is it? My friend? No, but your friend is friends with them. Is it me? Yes. Fuck. Yeah, that would suck. It would suck. I mean, I don't have that many good female friends. I have some female friends, but I don't have any like best friend female friends. And so it would suck if I thought they were my good friend and then they were just secretly trying to pine for me, because then it's just like, how do we move forward from this? Like, I'll reject you if I don't want to be with you, which in this scenario I don't, but like, how do we move forward? You're always going to be attracted to me. It's going to be weird. It's going to be fucking weird. Anywho, all right, let's talk about politics, guys. Man, we're the 52 50-second episode special. Oh, wait, no, I have a 50-second episode special thing on here. I didn't even talk about it. Lame. I went rest in peace Ozzy Osbourne. I didn't even talk about the podcast episode. 50-second episode, guy. That means 52 consecutive weeks we've made an episode of this podcast. A big moment in anyone's podcast, I would assume, getting to the 1 year mark. Fun times had all around. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you all so much. You all mean the world to me, and I hope we can grow the community more. I don't do a very good job of promoting this podcast, I'll be very honest. I certainly could post about it on any form of social media, which I don't. I enjoy just, rambling by myself sometimes. I do. I truly do. But I like having, I think I've said this before, not that this is my philosophy, but I think it's very important to have a lot of media. If you're trying to become someone famous, we'll say, like even if you're a musician or whatever, it's important to have a bunch of songs, let's say in that case, or have a bunch of podcast episodes or videos and stuff. This way, if someone likes you and they look you up, there's a lot of content for them to consume, and they'd be like, whoa, this guy's great, and I see everything. This episode is brought to you by the Matt Lipari store. Visit mattliparistore.com to peruse a wide array of items, including the Tell Me I'm Pretty Blobfish shirt. We have the Bubonic Plague Chicken Club mug, many items for everyone in your family, including your disabled children and your old gay uncles. That is the perfect American family, as I could think of it. MattLipariStore.com. So even if you're posting something and it's not getting a lot of attraction at that point, it's great that you just posted that because, there's plenty of singers who get famous and then someone discovers their old song and they're like, holy shit, this is amazing. And you just weren't famous enough to get the traction at that time. Happens on TikTok. Happens with the TikTok algorithm, which is very weird. That's how the algorithm works. You'll post a video, it does okay. Then you'll post another video that goes viral, and then it'll make the video you just posted that did okay go viral. Happens all the time. It's very interesting. Interesting how it works. So, we keep making the podcast episodes, and we'll do a Karamizer hat giveaway today. Sorry, I just hiccuped. The Holy Ghost went into me because I was giving away a hat. Maybe I shouldn't give away a hat, but I will. The code will be... Why is there dirt at the bottom of my cup? Looks like sand. Anyway, I might have to change my water filter. The code is going to be... let's think about this. We'll make it birthday. Birthday, capital, all capitals. Birthday is the code. You go to meatsangria.com, put the code on the website. If you haven't already redeemed a code to win a Save the Karameister's hat, you can do so. Anywhere in the continental U.S., I will ship the hat. Congratulations. And this one's a big celebration. This one's the birthday hat. Big. I'm going to put some of my special birthday suit material on there for you all. All right. We'll talk about the Epstein list. They're meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Something's happening with Ghislaine? I don't actually know. I'm not sure. I just know I was at my parents' house this weekend. Or not their house. I was with them. And they said something, we'll say, I've said this before, my parents are, we'll call them Republicans, which, they are. I'm not here to defend their actions or anything. But they said something which I think I knew. They go, yeah, we don't even care if Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. We don't think he's a good person. Like, we didn't vote for him because he's like a nice guy. They're like, yeah, he's a despicable man. They still voted for him over someone they didn't think was good for the country. So, that's what a lot of people are not. It's not like if he's on the Epstein list, everyone's going to change their minds. So many people, the majority of his voter base is going to be like, yeah, that's, whatever. Some of them are going to excuse it away. They're going to be like, no, this is fake. And some of them are going to say it's real and we don't care still. I think those are the people who it's like, that, the being president is not about being a nice guy. It's literally just about, I believe this is better. And this other person, like, you're kind of indoctrinated in just believing, like, this viewpoint is always going to be better. I don't care who's delivering it to me. I'm just going to vote for them. And so they said they don't care. They say, yo, Donald Trump's a piece of shit. What the fuck? He's also a pedophile? Like, all right, it doesn't really change much. Because I get it because he's been a pedophile this whole time. Here's the thing. He was president for 4 years already. He would have already been a pedophile the entire time. We survived, I guess. It happened. It wasn't great, but, so it's not like we out him as a pedophile and all of a sudden he becomes like Dracula. He's like, no, I can sink my teeth into every little young girl. It kind of is what it is. So, of course, him being a pedophile ruins his reputation, but for some people, it doesn't really do that. So it's kind of crazy that they've acknowledged, they being the voter base I have the most direct contact with, they've acknowledged, and some of them are in denial, like, oh, the Democrats made it up. What is he saying about Obama, dude? He's deflecting a lot these days, which makes me think he's very guilty. I've said on here that I don't think he's a pedophile, but like he's making himself more guilty, bro. Making himself hella guilty. You guys are still talking about this Epstein list? That sounded like Sebastian Maniscalco for a second. What are we talking about, the kids and the... I can't do the impression. But yeah, it's not great. It's not a great look. But again, what changes if that happens? That just makes America more of a laughingstock. Well, you guys voted a pedophile on top? And we're like, yeah, I guess. Fuck, we did that. Well, I didn't do that, but some of you guys might have. Some of you guys voting did. And, listen, guys, I get it. Did I really want to vote for Kamala Harris? Just like I'm probably going to vote for Zoran Mamdani. I don't like the stuff he's doing. I'm going to be honest. I think it's like kind of foolish. Kind of misguided. And, I guess I can move into that. One second. Let me rearrange some notes here because it's very important that I get this list exactly right because this order matters to me and no one else. Zoran Mamdani. My parents are, so many people I've talked to that I know are just like, why would you vote for that man? I'm like, because I want to, because I'm intrigued to see what would happen if I do. But I just think, I've said this before, I don't think, you taxing the rich, that's great. I think that's great. It needs to happen. But then just to use it on free buses, I'm like, bro, what are these things we're deciding to do with this money? I don't like that. I just don't like that. I don't like the idea of giving the government more money to just waste on stuff. Because they're just so bad at using our money. They just give it to I'm not going to say they give it to people who are not working. That's not the ad video I was going to say at all. It sounded like it. They give it to just like contractors who overcharge. They fuck them in the ass. They fuck us in the ass. They're just profiting off the government. They just waste. So I don't know what the free bus thing would. I know there's going to be like 50 administrative positions with the free bus shit. That's just another hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars wasted. Oh, we have to have the free bus organizer. And it's like, okay, we just wasted all this money again. It's just so much bureaucracy. It's just waste of money. Everything's just a waste. Everything to do is going to be a waste. The free groceries or the city-owned grocery stores is another one of his plans. All right, now we need a city-run grocery store manager. These are a bunch of jobs, but it's wasting money that we're giving to the government just to, sure, it's nice for someone to have a job because of this. But I just don't like I'd rather just people kept their money. That's my philosophy. You pay less taxes. You don't give the government as much of your money. You keep your money. And I thought of an idea, and I'm not an economist. As you guys know, I'm simply a guy on a couch. We're going to have Benjamin Netanyahu here, by the way, real soon, a guest podcast host. He's going to talk about his love for balloon animals. No, I thought of a good idea. People always say you tax the rich and give it to the poor, which is, in theory, a great idea. But people on the right always complain that there's people leeching off the government, right? There's people who don't work. They get these handouts. They don't work. They get all this money, and they make more money not working than they do working. So why would you have to work? And that's a fair point, I guess, in some cases. I'm sure there's definitely some people who actually can't work and need money from the government. Okay, but there's some people who are definitely abusing the system. I think there's a great way to do this where you take money from the rich and give it to poor people who have jobs. So you have to have a job to get this money. It's basically like a stipend. We'll call it the trickle-down wealth distribution tax, or not a tax, anti-tax, reverse tax, inverted tax. And so if you make, let's say, $50,000 a year, you get a boost, and it's from the rich people. It's a trickle-down tax, and then it kind of works like taxes where you don't make more, you don't make less if you go into the next tax bracket. It just scales. So if you go into the next tax bracket where you're making a little bit more money, you'll still get some of it because you're not rich, but it'll be less. So, I like that idea. And then, of course, some of it can go to like people who have no jobs or whatever, but it'll clearly separate where if you have a job, you're going to be making way more than just sitting on your ass and doing nothing, which is what people complain, oh, these guys make so much money sitting on their ass. So I like my idea. In theory, I don't know the specifics. And then you would say, oh, well, maybe companies will then pay people less because they're not getting money from the government. We don't have to pay them as much. There we have to do some questionable. We're not questionable. We have to see what's going on. We gotta, if a company drops their pay by like 10% because we're giving them an extra 10%, that's not great. And we got to figure that out. So, that's my solution, guys. I'm running for mayor. In 2078, I'm going to be 80 years old at the point. I'm going to be geriatric. I'm going to be on life support. And I'm probably going to have asbestos poisoning as well. I'm going to be grotesque. I'm not joking. I think there's a chance in my lifetime that we will discover essentially immortality. I think if AI reaches a point, AI is just going to make us immortal. So I'm kind of excited for that. I could just be permanently an 80-year-old man. Well, hopefully then we can reverse aging as well. We possibly could. I don't know. This episode of the Meat Sangria podcast is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and you could be exploited by hackers. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. Visit meatsangria.com and click on the podcast sponsors section to get 72% off NordVPN's 2-year plan. I know I do a lot of risky things on the internet. Let's just say I like to peruse the things the World Wide Web has to offer. You got to stay safe, guys. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your data and your device. NordVPN lets you do that. Once again, meatsangria.com. Click on this podcast sponsor section to get our special deal. Thank you. Isn't that fascinating? That's an amazing thing. Hopefully, some of you guys got to, like I said last episode, stop trying to become TikTokers, guys. Stop trying to be what I am. You can't do me. You can't do me. Do some AI research. Save the world, do some AI research. Well, saving the world is not making us immortal, but you know the gist, guys. You know the gist. About the Netanyahu thing. Obviously, if you haven't heard, the NELK boys have interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu on their podcast, which is just what a strange thing to do. It's like everyone's yelling at them. If you don't know the NELK boys, they're just a bunch of... my friends used to watch them back in college because they would just do pranks on people. And it was funny because they're like, basically a bunch of just like frat boy, kind of like, I'm not going to call them douchebags. They're just like, they just don't care. They're doing stupid shit. And it's funny because they're ridiculous and doing stupid shit. And then they move on to podcasting. They have a podcast and they've had Donald Trump on there. And I think it was 2 guys originally. One of them left because he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I just wanted to do pranks. The other guy, I forgot his name, Kyle, I think, or something, is now one of the main guys. And there's a bunch of other cronies around. And, I don't listen to their podcasts. I'm sure, in my mind, I assume it was like a bro-y podcast. Just a bunch of bros. Kind of like this one, but more bro-y. But they're having, why are you having fucking war leaders on here? What is the point? What is this for? Also, why does Benjamin Netanyahu want to go on that? But that's what the confusing. Why is he on there? What is his agent like? You're going to go on this podcast? What the fuck is the point of that? Is he doing a media tour? I don't understand I don't understand any of this. Why is he there? Why is it anyone? It's like Muammar Gaddafi going on like a random American person's pod. What's the fucking point of this? I don't get it. So everyone's saying like you're having him on there. You're not, you have this guy on there and you let him say whatever he wants and you don't push back and you don't have because these guys are not politicians. They're not political commentators. They're just a bunch of bros. If I interviewed Netanyahu, I don't know what the fuck to ask him. That man would walk all over me. That's why he's not here. That's the only reason he's not here. He's been dying to get on this podcast. And I'm like, bro, come on. I'm like, bro, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I don't have the education. They're saying that. Like, you can't just have a guy come on your podcast and say whatever you want and then just be like, oh, yeah, totally. That's, like, irresponsible. And, I get it from their perspective, from a guy who's, like, just trying to become popular and get views. You're like, oh, shit, we have him on the podcast. You're going to get hella views from that. But it's like, what are we doing? Guys, what is the whole point of this? I think it'd be okay to have him on if you were just talking shit the whole time. Like, if it was all just... If you were like, hey, so great to have you on the podcast, Benny boy. Gay son or thought daughter. I think that'd be perfectly fine. If you just vibing with him the whole time. He didn't mention Israel a single time. He didn't mention anything about war. You were just like, bro, what's your favorite, like, snack food, dude? Yeah, you like pizza? New York pizza or Tel Aviv pizza? But you're like, oh, wait, we're going too far into Tel Aviv. New York. Mushroom, pineapple on pizza or what? That'd be fine. That'd be fine because it's like, okay, this is so ridiculously stupid that it's entertaining. But when you let them say stuff, I just like, the NELK boy guys, whatever. I'm not blaming them as if they're like evil people, but they're just like, yeah, we want to hear everyone's side of the story, but it's not really hearing their side of the story. It's almost like if you owned a billboard and you let like a devil worshiper put their thing on there, and you're just like, I just wanted to hear him out. It's fine. It's like, no, you can hear him out before you put him on the thing. You can hear him out and then decide after. You don't have to hear him out on air. But, they're obviously grifting a little bit, and, it is what it is. But I don't know. I think it's a risky thing. If your podcast is just being a bro, be a fucking bro. What do you need to do all this stuff? Be a fucking idiot, dude. Be just a bunch of idiot. What do you need to have anyone that's weird on? I don't get. You're not like setting the culture. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just like everyone to stay. I don't want everyone to stay in their lane, but just like know your audience and know. I think it's fine. Some people have multiple podcasts where they have a bunch. You can have a podcast where you're just a bro, and then you want to do your other stuff like, hey, I'm Kyle from the NELK Boys, and I want to do investigative journalism now. Okay, sure. Start that with someone else. People will watch it, but that's like your avenue for doing investigative journalism. You don't have to add random people onto your regular I don't know. This is not a fun topic for the 52nd episode, guys. This is supposed to be a birthday party. Jesus Christ, what a shitty birthday party. No one bought me any gifts. No one bought Meat Sangria any gifts. Do I have anything up here? We have the Karameister there. We're chilling. I got myself a gift. I got a Kindle, but that's not for the Meat Sangria podcast. All right, rich people are at it again. Rich people, there was an auction where someone bought a piece of Mars for $4 million, I think. A piece of Mars that somehow was from an asteroid. What the fuck's going on in my hallway? Some banging. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to someone who has way too much money buying rocks. And then in the same auction, someone bought a dinosaur for $30 million. And this is the part that gets me. I feel like in the last few articles I've seen about these auctions, they go, the dinosaur experts estimated the cost of the dinosaur. I'm reading this as if I'm reading an article. I'm not. Estimated the cost of this dinosaur at $4 million, and then it sells for $30 million. How bad are dinosaur? What kind of job is a dinosaur fossil expert if you're that bad at projecting how much it is going to be worth? Oh, I'm a bone expert. This is about a $3 or $4 million. It's just like 10 times that cost. You're so bad at your job. You're literally one job. You're the most niche thing in the world. You have to be good at it, or else you're so bad. The dinosaur appraiser is just so awful. Selling a fucking dinosaur for $30 million, guys. That's just crazy. It's a cool. Listen, if I was super rich, would I want a dinosaur? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. But it's such an evil supervillain thing to do. Buying dinosaur bones. Come on, I think honestly, if I have to, the rich just got too greedy. I think they ruined it for themselves. If you go back 40 years ago, you could have been rich and you could have been chilling. There's plenty of poor people. You could have been chilling. Everyone would have been like, damn, that guy's rich. But you're not like, the majority of people weren't like, fuck them, I hope they die. They were just like, that guy's rich, damn. Now it's just like cartoonishly rich, and like, it's like, what the fuck, dude? This is ridiculous. So, they're not helping their own cause, and I think that's the problem. It's just like, people are rich, which I think is fine to be rich, and but like, how you have to keep it reined in at a certain point. You can't just be like, you can't just be so evil. I'm losing coherence, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm losing the ability to speak. But it's okay because I got my dinosaur's bones being shipped in. I think, how much could you sell like a dinosaur knuckle for if I found one? Just like chilling. I think the thing is, if you find a knuckle, there's like the rest of the skeleton somewhere deep down. I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I'm just around dinosaur bones that I don't know are there. They're in very specific spots, like in like California. There's a lot of the La Brea tar pits. Anyone has been there? I've been there. There has to be like a weird natural event where like it just completely just like froze the bones and covered them in something. If I died right here, I just rot. Isn't it crazy how like someone dies and their smell seeps? It's like disgusting. Their smell like seeps into everything. They can't get rid of it. Like someone dies, they have to like blow up the apartment. It's crazy how disgusting. I've never smelled that smell, Well, it's like disgusting how bad it smells. When someone buys like a dead person's apartment, they have to like truly, they try to cover it up. They have to truly like rip the floorboards open, suction, like it like soaks into concrete. This is kind of gross. Bro, someone's like running up and down my stairs. It's kind of annoying. Slomping on their feet. That's not a word I made up, slomping. Sorry guys, I'm a little unimaginative today. With the 52nd episode. The birthday got me. The birthday got me good. This next part of the podcast is going to be amazing. Watch this. Largest Atlantic great white shark ever tagged off. Or no, fuck, I misread that. Fuck, I overpromised and underdelivered there. Largest great white shark ever tagged in the Atlantic, spotted off the shore of Cape Cod. The shark is nicknamed Contender based on a boat. Apparently there's a brand of boat called the Contender. And this shark is a motherfucking big-ass shark. And it's off the... Oh, Jesus Christ. Guys, I'm dying. I need a 1 second break. I need to reset my mind. I've been in the heat for too long. Sorry, there's people having a conversation in my hallway. It's annoying me. What the fuck are you... What are they doing? I don't know what's happening anyway. Big ass shark. What was the point of the shark comment? Oh, it's just there. There's a shark. It's a big ass. So if you guys are on Cape Cod, watch, dude. I don't know. They said the biggest tagged into the Atlantic, which makes it seem like that's like a pussy length for a shark. They would never put that if it was like an actual biggest shark. You know what I mean? They would just say the biggest shark ever tagged. Atlantic versus Pacific. Great white lengths. Great white size. Let's see. Great white sharks in the Pacific generally grow larger than those in the Atlantic. Yeah, of course. Fucking knew it, dude. The Atlantic Ocean is just the bitchier version of the ocean. Most female great whites average around 15 to 16 feet. Some of the Pacific can reach up to 20 feet. Oh, are they women? Oh, are the women the biggest ones? Ooh, fatties. We got some big... Sorry. A thick shark. Maybe the shark needs a man. Maybe I can... I am single. Maybe I can, you know... Let's see what the shark needs from me. Dude, that's a crazy big-ass shark, and I don't even know how big the one spotted, but it's probably pretty big. Probably 15, 16 feet. It's also tagged. They added 2 things there. Biggest in the Atlantic and biggest ever tagged. It's probably like 5 feet long. It's probably the smallest shark ever. No worries. I would be scared to swim with a great white shark, but I was going to. Oh, man, this is what I was going to... My family, if I didn't say this, we're going to go on a trip to South Africa during the COVID time, and the flight got canceled. The airline went bankrupt, so we didn't go, and I was disappointed. But we were going to go shark diving, I believe. Great white shark cave diving off the coast of probably Cape Town or something. That would have been fun, guys. That would have been a very unique experience. I would have loved to do it. It's kind of scary. But it would have been interesting. You know, how many people can say they've been cave diving with a great white shark? And so there's no cave diving in Tanzania, so I can't really do it. That kind of sucks. Aren't those sharks big, though? Off the coast of South Africa, they're fucking huge. And that's the Atlantic Ocean, isn't that's kind of like... Is that technically the Indian Ocean? Like, it's kind of where the 2 oceans meet, I think, right? What are I don't even know the names of all the oceans. We have the Arctic Ocean... How many oceans are there? 5? What the... Am I stupid? Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and then what else is there? There's one on the bottom, right? One around Antarctica, is there? Am I stupid, or is there 4? Guys, I might be stupid. Holy shit. How many oceans are there? There are 4 named oceans. Okay, that's what I thought. The Southern Ocean. All right, Jesus Christ. The Southern, right? The Southern Ocean, but yeah, I think the Southern one just kind of doesn't count. Some people don't think it's real. They just think it's little bits and pieces of the rest of them. I don't even know how do they classify an ocean? Is it by current? Does anyone really care? Does anyone actually fucking care? I don't think so. Yeah, the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic. I don't know, whatever. The Pacific Ocean. So around... Australia has the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean around it. Okay. Yeah, the Southern Ocean just doesn't have a ring to it. I'm sorry. You need to call it something cooler. That's why you lost the battle. That's why there's only 4, because it was Southern Ocean. From Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is terrific. Summer intern in New York fired for biting at least 10 people. I'll repeat, summer intern in New York City. I need to meet this woman. It's a woman. A young girl at a law firm, I believe. Fired from her internship for biting 10 people. I don't know if this is... How would this story make news? I don't understand. That's why I'm questioning if this is real, but it's on multiple news sites. Who would tell anyone this? How would this make it? I don't understand. But apparently this girl, it wasn't aggressive biting. It wasn't like she was chomping chunks of meat out of people. Apparently she was just like playfully biting people, but she did it to like 10 people. And they're like, you have to go. And they said she did it to one of the HR people, which is so funny. She gets reported to HR for biting, and she's like, let me just do it to you just to make sure we're all good. I know they all didn't like it, but I think you were going to really enjoy that. They said she was doing it in like a millennial kind of way, probably just I'm picturing someone I went on a couple of dates with doing it because she like fits the mold in my mind. Not that she was weird. She just seems like someone who would like playfully bite someone. And it's just like, you're like, But like, why would you? It's just like such a weird thing. I do enjoy, I don't know why I have this thing where like if I'm about to kiss someone, I'll just like fake chomp on their face instead. I'll just be like, instead of going for the kiss, I'll be like, I think it's funny. It's like my bit. It's like my kissing bit that I do. And so, that's like a violent chomp. That's like a cartoon chomp. I couldn't do that to someone. But if someone went and they just started like biting my skin, they'd be like, okay, this kind of, it might feel good. Maybe it's the best feeling thing ever. Maybe some guy did it to her once and she's like, I just need to bring everyone that same amount of joy I felt that one day. I need to share the love, spread the joy. That'd be kind of funny. Wouldn't it? That'd be kind of good for her, honestly. Why would they fire her for that? But yeah, that kind of, that's a crazy thing to, you can't tell anyone you were fired because you bit people. That's crazy. It's only been a couple weeks into the interning. Actually, no, I remember when I was an intern, I was a summer intern for real once, and it ended at the end of July. So it would be ending right now. It started right after I graduated, or not graduated, it started right after I finished the year, and then it went for 8 weeks, I think. It was 8 or 10 weeks. I did it for 8 weeks because I wanted to have the last month at home in the summer, which I probably should have done it for longer because then I would have made more money. And at home was kind of boring, so I was like, shit. But, it would have been ending right now, which is crazy. That's like the summer's over at July, the end of July, and it feels like it's just begun. That's crazy. So, I guess maybe she had a good internship. She got a couple weeks out of it. I think I would still put it on my resume. You can't have any references from there, but you can still put it on there. But like, I was really good at, you can use biting in like a figurative sense. Like, I bit off more than I could chew a handful of times. I just chomped down on the bit and worked through the night on stuff. I really ground my teeth into a pulp. And they'd be like, wow, this girl's a creative writer, my goodness. It's like, no, I was actually doing those things. I have scars on my coworkers to prove it. If it was a guy doing it, I think they probably would have tased him day one. A girl, they let it slip. They're like, okay, she's kind of hot, so this is kind of cool. And they're like, wait, this is weird. This is weird. Is it weird in my mind that finance places and like law firms hire hot women as interns because they're like creepy men who are trying to like prey on them? That's like a stereotype in my mind. I'm not saying they're not qualified. I'm saying like these men are creepy and misogynistic. Like, well, fresh meat. Fresh meat. Men are weird, guys. I wouldn't put it past them. Exhibit A, the man at the Mets game today who was refusing to get out of his seat for a medical emergency. That's the type of guy who would have a female intern who is way too young and not interested in him at all, but he wouldn't get the hint. Long Island man, rest in peace, this Long Island man who dies getting sucked into an MRI machine because he was wearing a 20-pound metal chain around his neck. What the fuck? I read that story. I was like, is this jewelry? Like 20-pound metal chain? This is like the guy. It was a black guy. Like I could make a slavery joke too. That's like 20. I can't even think of a 20-pound metal chain. How big is this fucking chain? What the fuck? I was like, what the heck? Apparently, it was like a medical purpose chain. Like it was for like training his body. It was like it's like when you strap those weights to your ankle, and like you had weights to your ankle to like practice walking, or you had like weights to your arm. So he had that, and then he walked into the MRI room with his wife. His wife was getting the MRI to help her. They didn't turn the machine off. He got sucked in the machine by this 20-pound fucking chain. Because yeah, of course you would. And he died because they weren't able to get him out, which is extremely scary. An MRI machine is so fucking scary. I almost went for an MRI earlier this year because of a medical possibly problem. I didn't go because it was just a hunch. We don't know yet. We don't know yet what I have. We're thinking it's something new. One of those xenomorph is growing in my stomach, so we just want to make sure. But no, I don't need to reveal my medical history to you guys. I'm gonna start getting ads, targeted ads by like what is it? I can't think of a medicine. I was gonna say lymphoma, but that's a disease. Larvesta, that's a Pokemon. I can't think of anything. Trafalgar. Dude, this is one medicine commercial. Have I talked about this? Where I always see it on TikTok, and you guys might know what I'm talking about. It's where there's just this lady. I don't think she's mentally handicapped. I don't know what the medicine's for because I never listened to the commercial enough. But she's dancing on the beach, and she just looks like she's kind of retarded. And she's not, but she's just like dancing like this on the beach. She's like, and I see it all the time, and I'm just like, what is this commercial? What is this commercial? It looks so weird. She might be retarded, and I might have just insulted her, but like, it's not an insult because I don't think she is. I'm just like, what is the move they're getting you to do? And she's just like, You guys will know. If you saw the video, you'd be like, what is this? Anyway, so the MRI, and my mom kept telling me, my mom is like susceptible to fear at a strong degree, but she's telling me, she's like, being in an MRI machine is the scariest thing in the world. You feel claustrophobic, you feel like you're gonna die, you're gonna want to kill yourself. I'm like, all right, cool. That's really cool. That's great. I can't wait to do that. So I was like, fuck, I don't, like, it'd be cool to get an MRI just to be sure, but I don't really want to get one. Then she's like, you can get an open MRI, which is less intense, but it still does a good enough job, I guess. And I was like, okay, that's better. I think I could handle the claustrophobia. I think I'd be fine as long as it was cool in the room. I think you have to lay there for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's longer. I don't know. It could be like an hour. I don't fuck it. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so she scared me, and I was like, if I don't need to get this, I don't really want to get this after all this fucking fear-mongering I'm getting into. So this lady has her MRI, she needs help getting out of the machine, and this guy walks in and fucking, bro. Dude, I don't even know how an MRI machine works. That thing's crazy scary. Taking brainwaves, but it sucks in just heavy metal oh god. Even just walking there with like your keys or something, like they fly out of your pocket. Oh man, that's so crazy how strong the magnetic force is. It's honestly impressive. Yeah, rest in peace to that guy. And apparently there's some controversy about it, how they could have stopped the machine early and then like saved his life or something, or I don't know the way it works. Something with insurance, maybe they can't stop the machine. I don't know. It seemed like they were blaming like the United Healthcare CEO somehow because of this, and more power to blaming him. Honestly, fuck that guy. But yeah, rest in peace to that man. And it happens in my backyard, Long Island. I'm surprised all the money I carry in my pocket, all the gold I have that I didn't get sucked into the machine from all the way over here, from about 50 miles away. I'm surprised I didn't get sucked in. You got to be careful when you're rich like me. You walk around with all these doubloons. I don't carry cash. I carry doubloons and other, medallions and stuff like that. Bullion, as they call it. There's so many words to describe gold and stuff. A doubloon, bullion, coin, trinket. Yeah, so rest in peace to that man. Rest in peace. And if I'm ever near an MRI machine, bro, I'm leaving everything as far away as possible. You got a filling in your tooth? I don't think you can get an MRI. I think it's dangerous. If you got like a leg, like an iron hip or something, no MRI. The NFL Player Association head of the NFL Player Association quits because there's a scandal where he spent union funds at strip clubs. The man wrote off his trips to the Magic City Strip Club as a union expense. Which I'm going to be real, guys, I'm pretty sure every head of every union on earth is doing the same goddamn thing. Just like we talked about these creepy dudes, you're expecting me to believe the head of a union, a creepy head of a union man, who's a stereotypical, this blue-collar, you know, sleazy politician kind of guy, is not going to the strip club and bringing some of the other union members to the strip club? You gotta be kidding me, guys. You gotta be fucking kidding. That man's going to the goddamn strip club. Okay, now, how blatant it is? Listen, it's not great to use... No one wants to hear that you're... Like, it's like taxpayer dollars being spent at the strip club. But I would be fucking furious, bro. Anthony Weiner spending my money on goddamn prostitutes or whatever. Not great. But guys, is this the most egregious thing ever? I'm sure they've all been doing it. It's when you lie about it. Well, you can't exactly not lie about it. That's the thing. You can't be like, yeah, I just went to the strip club. Yeah, just put it under the, you know, let the IRS look at that. You kind of have to be like, we went to the park, took them out for a business meeting for lunch. Maybe that's why, that's actually a good point. Maybe that's why a lot of strip clubs have like restaurants in them. Like the Magic City Strip Club is known for their lemon pepper wings, right? Isn't that a thing that like all the rappers talk about, the Magic City Strip Club? Is it in like Orlando or something, or Atlanta or something? So maybe that's why they have restaurants, because like, no, I just went to the restaurant, dude. Dude, I swear I just love the restaurant at the Magic City Strip Club. I said we didn't look at any women at all. I kept my eyes straight forward. There's no women ever. I know the Sapphire Strip Club where I went New Year's Eve, not to watch strippers, just because they gave me a free drink. Someone I met like a year ago, she told me that she went and got sushi from the Sapphire Strip Club one time. She went and had dinner at the Sapphire Strip Club and had sushi. I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. So maybe that's why. It makes sense. Like, it's a great way to like. I assume a big part of like these companies that are making money on sex is just like getting people in there without the stigma, or getting them to be able to just like write it off as something else. You have to think about that. Honestly, if I was a man trying to scheme, I had a wife. If I was a man in a loveless marriage for 30 years and I haven't had sex with my wife for 10 years, and I love strip clubs, I would want to go to the one that just said like, I don't know, like fucking Taco Tuesday, Tim's Tacos. I would love to go to that one. And then be like, I just stopped by the taco place. You spend $700 at the taco place? I'm like, yeah, their barbacoa is shipped in from Guatemala. They get a whole roasted pig. It's from royalty, a royal pig. But yeah, that would make a difference. It's like when they ship like sex toys to you in a discreet box, or so I've heard. I don't know. I've never bought a sex toy in my life, guys. I don't own any. I've always wondered what it felt like, the pocket, what is it called, the fleshlight? I've never been intrigued enough to buy it. I think it's the stigma in my mind of buying that. I just don't know what it'll feel like, and I'm kind of scared. I should buy one just to test it out. Just for the record, I should buy one. I've had sex toy companies reach out, because I think they're like dying to get people to promote their stuff. But it's been like anal like things that I put in my butt. They're like, hey, you want to put this thing in your ass? I'm like, not really. I'm like, I mean, I try it, but I don't really want to promote that. Speaking of promotion, guys, I've had one in my ass the entire time. I remember actually talking about it in an episode when it came out, when I got the original email. So yeah, the NFL Players Association, guys, don't go to strip clubs on company time. And if you do, make sure you're not going to get caught. Because now they're probing everything. They're going to be like, hey, what else are you spending money on? Probably nothing good, I'll say that. Probably nothing good. Dude, there's like sand at the bottom of my cup. I think I have to replace my water filter. You think the thing is I have a water pitcher filter, and it has like carbon in it, and I think after a certain point the carbon starts dripping into the water. And so that's not great. I'm just looking at that. It's like a constellation. I'm reading the grains, and my future looks pretty fucking bright, I'll tell you that, guys. My bubonic plague chicken club future looks pretty fucking good. All right, one last thing to talk about, guys. Thirst traps are fucking embarrassing. I'm going to talk about this. Whenever I see a man, this is how I look at the thirst trap. Whenever I see a man post a thirst trap online on TikTok, because they pop up on my page all the time, because that's my algorithm. I just want to see young, scantily clad boys dancing badly and lip syncing horribly to music. I'm always just like, well, this is so cringe. And then you see a woman doing the exact same thing. And I don't think it's as cringe because I'm attracted to them. Obviously, I'm like, this girl's hot. But it is equally as cringe when you look at it and you take the penis out of it. When I turn my penis off for the night, I flip the switch. Then I go, yeah, this is fucking cringe, dude. It's kind of embarrassing. And I kind of look at like, I divide like internet people into a bunch of categories. I think there's like people who are influencers who are like these high class influencers. They kind of make themselves seem like they're like these rich, like glitz and glam and whatever, and they're so well to do. And then there's like the white trash influencers. There's the middle part, which I think I fall in, but I think a lot of people put me in the white trash part, which are like, you know, they're like gamers who just like, they're funny and a lot of people watch them, but they don't care how they look. You know, they don't glitz and glam and edit their videos nice. They just kind of like, it's a guy sitting in his gaming chair. His room probably smells like shit. Just game. That's the white trash kind of version of it. And I kind of put these people who are making thirst traps into the white trash version of it. Like, if there was a hot girl posting a video of her on, like, the beach, like, just, like, laying down, not dancing, I'd be like, oh, that's an elegant, tastefully done smut. Well done. I can appreciate it but not feel like a creep. I can be like, wow, what a beautiful beach, and you. When you're, like, dancing and stuff and, like, you know, that was my cool dance move, then it's just like, what are you doing, bro? It's kind of falls into the white trash category. So there's the elegant influencers, the white trash influencers, and then there's just, like, the regular ones. The standard. I'm a standard kind of guy. But yeah, so it's not great, and it's embarrassing. And my brother, I remember, was like, man, this isn't gonna be embarrassing to him. Maybe I should wait till he's on here just so I can make fun of him. But I'll say it anyway. He tried. This was maybe in college, in like the very beginning, or maybe in high school. I think college. He was like, I see these guys make like millions of dollars. Like, why can't I do this? Or, like, these guys are, like, famous for, like, just lip-syncing videos. Why can't I do this? And he tried once. He was like, yes, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, I'm not doing that shit anymore. That's not good. And I had another friend who did it more recently, I think. And it's just like, guys, this is not... What are you doing? What are you fucking... At a certain point, you have to be, like, 19 for that to work. You can't be a 30-year-old man doing that. No one's gonna like what you're doing. No one's gonna like that. No one looks at that and is like, that's amazing. That is so hot. You're 40 and you're doing that. That's crazy. You know all the words to Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. That's so... Oh my god. That's amazing. You are so fucking high. I need to go see you right now. So yeah, that's it. Alright guys, I made it through the end of this podcast, guys. Episode 52, despite everything going on in my hallway, which really annoyed me. Distractions. But it's fine. It's all good. You gotta power through. Once again, I have to go to episode 52. Cheers to 52 more episodes, guys. No point in stopping. I love making the podcast. I do have a couple vacations coming up, which is going to interfere with my schedule. And I'm definitely going to have to pre-record a bunch of episodes. So we got to see what we're going to do there. Maybe I'll try to get a guest or something, because it's easier when I have things to talk about with them. We'll see what I got to do. I think maybe when I go to Africa, I'm going to have to make 2. No, there's no way. That's crazy. No, it's not 2. It's just 1. One extra one. It's tough, guys. Here's the thing about being a content creator. Going on a vacation is like the week before. You're like, fuck, I gotta do so much shit. I gotta do so much fucking prep work. It's not great. But, it is what it is. You can't go. Maybe I'll make some videos now. That's a good question. Alright, I'm just talking to myself at this point. Just go, maybe let me see what I need to buy from the grocery store. Boring. Loser. What a bum. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube. And take care. Remember, birthday. Capital birthday for the Save the Caremeister hat. One of you will luckily win. That's about it.